Hi, so here is I'm calling this week the show the Coexistence Corner Show because the show is about the story I'm doing, the play I'm working on, Doomsday USA, is about humans and monsters living, working together with one another to try to solve problems. And also, because I'll be talking more about this book I'm reading called Crossing Boundaries, in which the author talks about connecting with people from different backgrounds in your travels. So I've been working on the play Doomsday USA, and I'm redoing some of the scenes I've done before the introduction, but I'm adding some background sound plus some new dialogue. So I will do that this week. So let me get I'll be ready to start in just 1 second.
Right now at AT&T, trade in your iPhone, any year, any condition, and save up to $1,000 towards your new iPhone.
All right, ready? Okay, ready on three. 3, 2, 1. Howdy, campers, and welcome to Camp Doomsday, the only place in the world where humans and monsters interact with one another and form lifelong relationships. My name is Josh, and this here is our camp mascot, Jerry. Camp Doomsday gives young humans and monsters an opportunity to learn one another's traditions while breaking down stereotypes. Our staff is made up of both humans and monsters in a variety of positions, showing we can learn to live together with one another when given an opportunity. So, whether you're a human or a monster, if you have a young child, enroll them in Camp Doomsday this year, the place where humans and monsters coexist. Later that night, Josh is at a campfire singing for the campers. All right, campers, time for one more song. And as you all know, humans and monsters both love Halloween equally. So I've made a song about Halloween and humans and monsters being friends. Let's all sing together. Everyone is filled with fright, especially on Halloween night. Our spirits are floating around, capturing all of the town. Everyone's frightened and scared. Monsters are found everywhere. Everyone is filled with fright, especially on Halloween night. Witches and goblins and ghosts will be spectacular hosts, guiding you all of the way until the break of day. Everyone is filled with fright, especially on Halloween night. Spirits are floating around, capturing all of the town. Humans and monsters are friends, from this day now till the end. Humans and monsters are friends, from this day now till the end. Witches and goblins and ghosts will be spectacular hosts, guiding you all of the way until the break of day. Everyone is filled with fright, especially on Halloween night. Spirits are floating around, capturing all of the town. All right, everybody, it's time for bed now. Everybody wash their faces, brush their teeth or their fangs, wash your hands and your claws, and we'll see you tomorrow for a lot of fun activities. Yes, may I help you? Sure. So you guys are going camping in the woods tonight? All right. Well, just make sure you're back tomorrow afternoon to be with your campers, okay? Otherwise, go have fun. Yeah, I heard about the ghost in the woods. I wouldn't go out into the woods with that thing. Well, hey, if that's how they want to spend their time off, that's fine. Oh, you don't believe in it? that's where I'm at with this story. Obviously, I have a long way to go in developing that. I just tried to add some background sound effects, because it takes place in the woods. So I wanted to give a kind of nice ambiance to the story, but we'll see how that came out. Um, all right, moving on to the book. So I continued reading the book called Crossing Boundaries, A Traveler's Guide to World Peace by Aziz Abusara. As I told you last week, he believes that travel should be used as a way to build relationships with with other cultures. He strongly recommends that people get off the beaten track. Um, when they're traveling, don't just go to tourist hotspots, also go to smaller towns. Make sure you're connecting with locals. Make sure you're learning about the culture. Some other things he talked about in this book is he talks about voluntourism or some of the pitfalls or drawbacks of it. I mean, he recommends that if people want to volunteer when they're traveling, that they should first volunteer in their own home countries first to see if they really like volunteering. And also, he also encourages that people, when they volunteer, that they commit to a certain amount of time, because it can be a drain on the organizations they're trying to help, and to make sure they're doing it more for the people than just for themselves. I kind of see what he's saying, but I kind of think he's being a little too perfectionist here. First of all, most travelers are not interested in volunteering when they travel. Probably vast majority, vacation is vacation. They are not there to necessarily get involved in the local community. So I would say that anybody who's trying to help, big or small, should be encouraged. I understand that certain organizations, well, he says that, like, well, training them to do it right takes up more time than is worth it. The problem is a lot of people don't have time, especially older people like myself. I don't have time to necessarily commit um, a couple of weeks of time in volunteering. Now, and maybe I shouldn't volunteer when I travel, but I think that in some cases, I think that when if people want to volunteer and connect with the local community when they travel, I think that there should be ways for them to do maybe small things, maybe not big things, but small things, because some people can commit to a couple of months, but vast majority of people cannot do that. And so I thought that that's one part of the book I was a little like, I think he's being a bit of a perfectionist with this, or a bit of an idealist with how to do this. There are things I do agree with. He talks about, how to handle bad experiences when you travel, also, make sure you don't generalize about a country and assume that just because you had a bad experience, all the country is bad like that. He's against generalizations. Um, the book's also good with, I think he tries to talk about discrimination he has faced as an Arab in other places. But he's also talked about, it's interesting because he is part of, peacemaking groups between Palestinians and Israelis. And he's also talked about discrimination Jewish people might have faced, for example, when they were in Egypt. So I think he tries to be balanced with that, which is good. And in general, I think it's a good book. I think it's well worth reading. And I think his advocacy of trying to connect with other cultures, build relationships, help local economies, assist people, be a positive force, is great. And I encourage that. So in general, I think it's a great book, and I do encourage people to read it. But I'm not done yet, and I'll have more to say next week about it. But yes, it's Crossing Boundaries, A Traveler's Guide to World Peace by Aziz Abusara. And that's it for now. So that was what I call the Coexistence Corner Show. And I look forward to continuing this next week with more scenes from my play, more discussions about the book, and any other stories that might be connected to the topic. So have a good weekend.